Hey, what is up, B fam? Welcome to a fun Friday episode, and you are in for a treat, especially if you have a spouse that has to travel, or maybe you're the spouse that has to travel for work. Or maybe just family, something is taking y'all away from each other and you miss them during this time, and you're looking for ways to connect with them when they are not home with you. We have a special guest today. We have Jamie from Date Crates. She is like an alumni now for Enjoying Your Blended Family. She's been on here a couple times. Plus, we use her date boxes ourselves. She's going to be here and she's going to share her top 5 things that you can do with your spouse when they are traveling. So don't go anywhere yet. I'm gonna let you get a little glimpse into Jamie's life here in just a minute, right after this. So we're back. Okay, Jamie. First, can we start out by you just telling them a little bit about you, your family, and what Date Crates is, and how it came about?
Absolutely. So I'm Jamie, owner of Date Crates. I'm married to my very best friend, Cameron. We've been together for 12 years in July. We'll be celebrating our 12th year anniversary. We have 3 little boys, so we're just loud house over here. But yes, I started Date Crates a few years ago because long story short, I try to like put it in a nutshell. My parents divorced, and I was having this conversation with my mom, and she kind of like briefly told me, "Well, me and your dad were kind of in this rut too." And she kind of alluded that it led to her divorce. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't do that." And it kind of woke me up a little bit where I was like, "My marriage needs something else. I need to work on my relationship with Cameron." And I was noticing our focus was kind of just going everywhere, which it does naturally. You got careers, kids, everything going on. You're kind of forget about each other. So I wanted to do something that brought our focus back to each other, and it made a huge difference. And I was like, other couples need to do this. So I started making date crates, which is basically your date in a box. And the whole goal is to help you bring your focus back to your marriage, back to your relationship.
Yes, and I love that. And we've been using them. It's probably been a year now that
Hmm.
when you come out with them, we love using them. Jamie and I were talking before we came on here recorded, and it's one of those it's an experience in a box. This isn't about the items; it's the questions that it's asked. It's the conversations that get started of things you never even like think to ask your spouse. We just have these conversations that are basically revolved around functioning life and not and like the business of being a family, and we don't really go deep. I mean, I found this episode's not for children, so I'll just say it out loud. But some things that we have found out, like there's sometimes they're intimate boxes, and one thing that it asked once was like, where is your least favorite place to make love?
Mhm.
And my answer was the bed. And I hadn't really thought about it before. Randall had never asked me. And once he heard that, he was like, the next time I came in, all the sheets were on the floor. I was like, all right, let's go.
I love that.
And, and so it's these questions that it has that just get you talking and you learn more, because I am someone who couldn't even say the word sex, like out loud, where I was like insecure about it without like just now, like when I'm like, I have no kids here. Why am I whispering that word? But I couldn't like just tell him the things that I wanted or liked. But when you have questions like this, then it opens up the lines of communication. But we've also done like a traveling game that you have, road trip game, that we're driving 3 to 4 hours to see family. And so we're asking just simple questions about like, did you go to summer camp, or do you know how to change a tire? And I didn't. And so he taught me. He was telling me and walking me through on the way home. So there's just all these different benefits that come with it, along with a themed date. So I just wanted to put that little plug for
Absolutely.
date crates in there. Now, one of the reasons I wanted us to do this podcast, I will say today's podcast, the main reason is, you and Cameron, one of the things that y'all deal with is that he has to travel a lot for work. And I would watch your reels and your stories and talking about missing him. And my heart goes out to you, but it's not anything I really had to experience because really for the majority of our marriage, Randall hasn't slept away from the house, but a handful of times. He's just not
Yeah.
a goer and a doer. His job has never taken him away like that. But with some life circumstances and him just being gone during the workday now, like I've really been in this like missing him stage because we're not working together 24/7. And he did have to travel for work over a weekend. And I was like, man, how hard that must be for the spouse that is still at home, but also for the spouse that's traveling. And so I wanted to get your insight and really be able to speak into the lives of those marriages and give them some tools and resources so that they can be at their best in their marriage. So just tell us a little bit like, how often does Cameron have to travel for work?
So now it's changed. He probably travels. I'd average it about once a month, probably for about a week. But that varies. So like some months he'll be gone for 3 weeks, and another month he might be gone for just a weekend. So that's nice. But we've had a lot of experience in him traveling because before this job that he has now, he had to have a bag packed all the time, and he would just leave when he got called to leave. And so it was never set time. We never knew when he was going to go until
Wow.
he got that call where he had to go and fix the airplane wherever it was. So and he wouldn't come back until that airplane was fixed. And so that we never knew when he was leaving, we never knew when he would come back. So it was just always he was gone a lot for probably about 2 years. So it was we got a lot of practice in those 2 years to do
Yes.
that.
Yeah. So what would you say is the hardest part of him being gone? Like for you, what is the hardest part?
Oh man, for me, it's just not being able to not have the balance, and like his presence honestly grounds me, and I'm sure a lot of wives can relate to that. Like your spouse, or maybe probably husbands too, like your spouse kind of gives you that secure home feeling, and then when they're gone for a long period of time, it really is hard for me to just kind of like mellow out. And he is my person that tells me, hey, you need to take a break, you need to sit down, you've done a lot, like come over here and do this. He brings the fun into the relationship too. Like I'm very much business and then when he's gone, that just escalates, and I'm like business all the time. He definitely tells me to have some fun and relax, and when he's gone, I really miss that for me.
Oh, nice. So not just the fact that you don't have another adult to outnumber the children or
Yeah. Like
do
even
the
I mean
chores.
that is nice, but like for me personally, it's having him be near me and tell me like, "Hey, let's just relax for a second."
Yeah.
And
So that
he's kind of my
companionship.
reminder. Yes, the companionship for sure.
Okay. And do you feel like it's the same? Like, do y'all have these like in-depth conversations? Because I know you're all about the conversation. Do y'all have conversations about does it affect him the same way? Does he miss different things about being gone?
Yeah, so I actually asked him because I was like, I don't really know. And because I've always thought it's harder for the spouse who stays than it is for the one who leaves, because you're kind of just stuck in the everyday life and they're off doing whatever they're doing. So they kind of have this distraction, right? So I asked him and he said it does affect him, but probably not the same, because he does kind of get that break from the kids and gets to do the work thing and has buddies out there where he can connect with people. But he did say it affects him. He's like, I really miss my bed. We don't sleep really well when we're apart.
Yeah.
And so he just like, he misses eating food instead of eating fast food all the time. So it's just things like that. And this last trip he took, he did say, is like being away from the kids was really hard. And being away from me was hard, and just doing everyday life with our family and stuff. So that was kind of his answer with that.
Yeah. Well, it is funny to hear the guys' answers because it's, like you want them to be like, babe, I can't do life
Of course
without
I
you.
miss you. Oh yeah. No, I asked him, and he on like honest his answer was, I don't think I want to tell you because you might be mad, but I honestly miss my own bed. I was like, that's fair.
And it is true though when they're gone, because when Randall does leave, like the few times, I know when his dad passed, he was spending a lot of time at his stepmom's house, like helping get things in order and stuff like that. And so that's probably the longest he's ever been gone. And
Yeah.
I have to sleep with the TV on, which we don't
Yeah.
normally do. Sometimes I'll sleep on the couch because for some reason, like, I don't know, I just don't feel safe
Yes.
when he's not there. And so I always like any noise I hear. It was one thing when the kids were here, but now it's just like me by myself.
Yeah,
And
I would totally be in that same boat. I make my oldest like come sleep with me. Like just come in the bed so I'm not freaked out. Yes, I'm the same way. So
yeah, and I did a lot of co-sleeping when I was married previously. My ex-husband, he was military.
oh
So,
yeah.
he was going overseas, and it was, during like the very beginning of the 9/11 and all of that stuff.
Okay.
And so we really, he was gone a lot. Probably out of our 6, 7 years of marriage, half the time we were together, half the time we were not together. And so I would have my kid sleep with me then, which is a habit
Yep.
that I had to break eventually. But we didn't even know that there was like that we needed help, like when it came
Right.
down to it, we were just like, we're just apart. This is what our life is like. There's no like thing that we can connect. For us, we had to write letters and stuff. And so I would write letters. I would take a lot of pictures and send them
Yeah,
back
that's
and
cute.
forth. But technology wasn't even what it is today. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
now we have so much opportunity. And I've seen some of your posts on that too. And so I wanted you to share with us your top 5, because I'm sure there's probably more, but what are your top 5 favorite things, favorite ways to connect? And these could be something easy and simple, or it could be these out of the box things.
For sure. I want to share like the first 3 are I want to share first because they're going to be easy for everyone to do because I don't want people to like be like, "Oh, this is so hard," because it is hard. When you're out of routine with your partner, it seems so impossible to really have this connecting moment. And I've been there. I'm not a phone talker. Like I used to be so mad. I just like it's really hard because you're like, you're not here to see the day. And I don't know how to explain it because you're not here and I'm tired and I don't want to, do this thing. So I really had to work on that for me because he was missing what was happening and wanted to really know about the day. And once I kind of like worked on that, I was like, oh, you can connect when you have this distance between you. You just kind of got to give yourself a minute to be like, okay, I really do want to connect with you. And the reason I'm feeling so, ornery is because you're gone. Like that's not a bad thing. You want them, you want to connect with them. So just remember that most of the time when you're ornery, there's an underlying reason because it's just love. You just love them and you want to
Yeah.
connect with them. So I would say my very first one is Marco Polo, which is an app that you can download, and it's not like a text message, but it's also not a phone call. You can kind of do a video of yourself about the day, about what you're doing, and it'll send off. He will get it, and then he can respond back with the video. So we've loved that when he is gone because we kind of see snippets of our day without having to like call them and it's not a good time. So you have to hang up and try again later. So we really, really love the Marco Polo app.
I have heard of that. For when I heard about it, it was a teacher that I worked with. Well, she's actually the secretary at the school, but her daughter went away to college and they
Okay.
did that as a way to connect. So I hadn't thought about it in your marriage. But
Yep.
that's pretty cool.
So we love that. Another thing that I love to do for him is I will put little like notes in his bag when he leaves. There was one New Year's that we weren't able to spend together, so I bought like a tiny thing of Hershey's Kisses and I put "Here's your midnight kiss" on there and put it in there. So just something small that says that you're thinking of them, and he likes finding them in his bag. So I really like to do that for him, and that's fun too.
Oh, that's awesome. So you sneak attacks, put a little something in there.
Yes. Yes. Um, and then my third one, let's see, Marco Polo. I'm trying to remember now. Marco Polo, the notes. Um, oh, this one's a little bit above that. Is sending. He kind of sends me stuff. So one time he sent me Crumble, which is like a cookie company where they deliver it to the house. Or just something like if they're gone for a month, he'll send me something from Amazon with a little note that says like, "Hey, just thinking of you," um and just doing these things that are nice to do for each other when we're far away. It's kind of like, "Oh, thank you for taking the time out of your day to think about me." And you can do the same, send them, I don't
Yeah, we
know.
really are blessed in this day and age. Like, even with our daughter that lives in Alabama, when she was sick and it was around her birthday, like, you can have a grocery service, a food
Yes.
service, any of these things, go pick up something and deliver it right to their door. So,
Yes.
whereas before, if y'all were, he's far, he's buying something, having to go to the post office, box it up, you're paying not only for the item, but now you're paying this extra charge to ship
Yes.
it, and then you have to be considerate of how much it weighs or whatever is. Now it's like you can just get on Amazon, and you can hide your Amazon thing. I know we do that at Christmas.
Ooh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
So that way, because that's the hard part when you share Amazon,
Yes.
like, well, now they know, but you can go on there and purchase it and then archive it right quick so that they don't see that is coming. So
That's cool. I didn't know that. I'm gonna have to do that.
and that's
I
a good
love
one if
that.
you have your love language is
Yeah, like gift giving.
gift
It
giving and gift receiving. So that's
Yeah,
one of those ways
makes
that
it easier.
yeah, for sure.
And something I would recommend that, I mean, this is easy to do even if you're not traveling, is we always ask what our high of the day was and what our low of the day was. Because that kind of helps you get in the conversation of what did you do today? Instead of like, oh, I'm tired. It was a really hard bedtime routine, with the kids. But when you hear their side of the day, and then when you can express your side of the day, it really makes for a good conversation. And it's so simple. It's really fast, but you do have that connecting moment to share your high and share your low.
I like that too, because sometimes when we get together, at least we do this even when we're not traveling, like the end of the day, you get together and all you're doing is talking about all the things that went wrong, like
Mhm.
all the frustrating parts, because you finally have somebody that you can vent to. So that
Yes.
gives you your ability to vent, but also like, okay, well, what's something good that happens, and focus on that
Yeah.
positive thing. So yeah, I like that. So we have Marco Polo, send a little like sneak attack love
In their bag.
message, gift, whatever, to send an actual physical gift through some sort of service. Even, you could send them lunch or dinner or
Oh,
something
yeah.
just to make
DoorDash
like,
something. Yeah.
yeah. So that's three. And then a little bonus in there is the highs and lows during those conversations. So what else? What else you got? Hey, have you heard of Get Out Pass? I hadn't either. I saw it on a friend's social media and I had to immediately look to see if my state had it, because she lives in a different state than me. I was like, oh heck yeah, where can we sign up? If you are home for the summer and looking for things to do, you want to get yourself a Get Out Pass. You pay one time for each of your family members, a one-time fee, and it gets you in to all of these places around your community for free. It is so worth it. When I heard about this, I began to look into it and I was like, are you kidding me? It costs this much to get into every single one of these places. This is thousands of dollars that we are saving, and now we have the opportunity, because of the one time that we paid, to get into all of these places. These are water parks, climbing places, jumping places, arts and craft areas, boardwalks, theme parks, food type activities. Then I took that list and I sent it to all of my kids and asked them, hey, which one of these things do you want to do? Now I have plans all summer long, even with my adultish children and of course the grandbaby. These bigger cities are partnered with Get Out Passes. So go and check now, see if you have a city nearby that allows you to use this pass, and then get it for your family. It will pay for itself in 1 to 2 visits, I promise you. And if you're part of our blended family community, use the code BFAM and you get 30% off. You buy it one time and you have all year to go to all of these places one time. Go get it, sign your family up, and do not sit at home this summer with all them kids. Get out the house and make some memories.
So So what else we do, which we've just, I mean, we probably implemented this a year ago, but we tried to do like FaceTime dates where
Mm.
we're together. We set a time to be together and do a date. And we've done a few. Like we watched a jazz game together once. Like we just kind of propped each other up and watched something together and kind of had conversation about the game. We've done conversation cards, which you talked about earlier. They're so fun. We love them. Especially when they've been gone for, about 2 weeks or what, it doesn't have to be however long where you're like, oh, I don't even know what to say anymore,
Yeah.
So bring out conversation cards to where it's asking you a question and then you can answer it and hear their answer, and it makes for a fun conversation. This last one we did was a virtual escape room on the computer, and that was so fun. We had a really good time doing that. So that's kind of like, it seems hard, but it's not. Like when you can just sit and say, "Hey, like I really would love to spend time with you," you can do it. You can do it. Just make the time to set aside. And we did. It was probably an hour, and we just sat and did a little game on the computer together, and that was fun. We really
So
loved
the
that.
virtual escape room, that is one that I saw and I was like, man, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was an option. Is that a
Well,
certain?
I mean, we can thank COVID, I guess, for making all of this available for us that we have spouses that travel, because it's still there and it works and it was fun.
That is true. So was it a certain company that you used, or is there just a ton
Yes,
of
it was. Oh my gosh, now I'm gonna forget what it is. Mystery, something mystery, I think. I'll have to go back and look because
Okay.
it
Yeah, send
had
it to
some
me and I'll
good
put it
ones.
in the
Yeah, put
show
it in the
notes.
notes because it really was. I don't want to mess it up because I want to give credit to where it goes. But it was really, they so well done, very well done.
Okay. And took about
So
an
I
hour,
loved
you
that.
said.
Yeah,
Okay. And I like
yeah,
escape rooms in general. So I like
I do too.
solving problems, solving crime, like murder mysteries. Like I like all that. So to know that you can do that virtually is a really cool opportunity.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure. So that was a good one. And then I'd say my last one, which is, it's kind of like just something you can do when they're traveling and okay, so sorry. I'm trying to remember how to like word this. Um Cameron was gone for a long time in Texas, and so I had the opportunity to fly out and see him, but it was only for like a weekend. And while I was there, I bought a postcard and I wrote on there all the things we did, my favorite things, and I left it in his hotel room for him to have. So this one's kind of like a rare case. Like it's not, you're not always going to be able to see each other when you're traveling. However, it is fun to write down things that happen that you want to tell them, like something funny your kids said that you'd like, oh, they would laugh at this. Like just write something down so when they get home you can be like, oh, these are all the things that happened that I really want to share with you. Or it's another phone conversation that you can have, because I know that when you think of them and you bring them into your day, it really makes them happy and thought of. And that's really the point, is like we all just want to be thought of, especially
Yes.
in your marriage. You want to be thought of each other. So
Yeah. Well,
anyway, yeah.
and even just that opportunity if they are working far away. I know not everybody can do that, but if you can take the opportunity to, like, if they're in a driving distance or something, you can go spend the weekend where they're at.
Yep.
And now the more kids you have, the harder it becomes, especially if you're
Yeah.
trying to fly and all of that. But, if you get to the point where, okay, they're going to be gone a month, well, they might not be able to leave work and come to me, but we could load up and go up and have a little mini vacation with them wherever they're at. And even if you just
Yep.
get to see each other for the few hours in the evening, it's more than not seeing them at all.
Right.
So
Yes. So I know that's kind of a rare one, but I love doing it, and it was so fun. Like I want to do it again if I get the opportunity to give him notes and kind of write down everything we did together. That was a good memory.
yes. Oh, I love it. So um what would be, as we wrap this up, because you shared
Yeah.
some really great ideas for those that have a spouse that is working away from the home. And I can't even, the month long is like, wow, like I can't
Yeah, I'm
even.
telling you, I'm like, how do single parents do it? They are God sent because it is so hard.
Yes, yes, all on your own, then not even have an adult to just like
Yeah,
brief.
chat with.
Um, yes, at the end of the day. So, what would be like not just date idea, but for that person that is staying home in everyday life, like your best advice? I'm just throwing this in there because I did not prep her for this one. Like your best, like self care kind of thing while you're without them.
Okay, the first thing that came to my mind was telling your spouse that you had a hard day. Like,
Mm.
I think for a long time when he would leave, I would feel like I had to be like super mom and like be this super wife and do all these things. And I didn't want to make him feel bad because he wasn't here to help me. But when I finally like let myself release all of that onto him, like you do when they're home, it made a huge difference. Like I felt like I could start the next day and be okay and just say, hey, like today was so hard. These are the things that happened, and allow yourself to know that you still need your person. And even though they're far away, and let them know that they're still needed. Um, and that you can't always be everything for everyone. And so, and that's okay. Like you need to do stuff for you too. So to me, like letting that kind of just release onto him. I know he can't fix it. I know there's nothing that we can do, but just saying it out loud just made a huge difference. And that really was hard for me at the beginning. And I had to kind of learn how to rely on him even though he wasn't presently here. Still rely on each other. So that's kind of like probably a strange one, but
No, I love that because you really do. Riddle and I've got to the point with that in our conversations of, do you want me to fix it or you just want me to listen? And that sometimes he just did that yesterday. He came home and he was like, man, with this new position that I have, I feel like I'm problem solving all day long. And so I automatically took that as, oh, well, is there anything I'm doing that's making you have to problem solve when you come
yeah,
home? Like, I
yeah.
don't want you to have to problem solve, when you come home too, if
Or
that's, yeah. And he's like, it has nothing to do with you. Like, I'm just venting. I'm just talking. I'm just, like getting it
yep,
out there. And it is so true. Sometimes you just need that other person. And if they were there, you would be doing that.
yeah,
And without, hesitation, you just kind of unload those things. But when they're gone, you feel like maybe you don't want them to feel guilty that they're not
yeah,
hold it all in. And we do know that when you hold those things in, it's just causing either like stress, bitterness, resentment, and everything. But when you can just be open and honest. So yeah, that is great
yep.
self-care advice, is being able to just be honest.
And start and add gratitude in there too. Again, that was hard for me. Like if I had a hard day and I let him know, I would, and then I end it with like, thank you so much. When you're home, I really appreciate it when you do this. And I'm realizing when you're gone, I miss that. Cause then they know like, oh, I do make a difference, in the relationship. And it's kind of, it really makes a difference. Cause usually when you can give gratitude to your spouse, I would say 9 out of 10 times they're going to give gratitude back to you. It's going to come back.
Yes, that's just great advice too, because then it does keep your focus on that. And I think, especially men, I think they want to know that they're appreciated.
For
So
sure.
both of those
Yeah.
things, let them know that too. Like they have a valuable place in this family. Moms, I
Yeah.
think, take on so much of the load that sometimes men can feel like they're just kind of like, I'm just here, a
Yeah.
paycheck basically.
Yeah.
But they are contributing so much. So just letting them know and those things is so important. And the same thing with Randall leaving now. I have to tell him like, man, you've been doing this for the business. I was taking it for granted.
Yes.
Now that I'm doing it, I'm like, I am so sorry for the last minute things that I throw on you or whatever,
Yes.
because it's not just so simple. So you don't know until you've really walked in their shoes. And when they're traveling, you are taking on some of those, even the simple thing of taking the trash out to the road,
Oh yeah.
and now I'm like, I'll take that on since you're gone. I forget to take the trash
And then,
all
yeah,
the time, and now it's piled up and there's flies, it's like outside,
seriously,
like
like,
gathering. It's the little things like that that they do too.
yes. Like the other day, I was like, "Thank you so much for bringing me my blanket." Like the other night, like I just am frantic everywhere, and I just like to be comfortable in my bed, and he knows that, so he usually would bring it to me, and he wasn't there, and I was like, "Oh, I need to go get it." Like it's just like little things like that where you're just like, "Thank you so much for taking care of me and taking the time to think about me."
Yes, I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jamie, for this wonderful advice. I know that it will benefit so many couples out there. And just a quick shout out, and I'll let you describe it a little bit more because I have not. I just put my order in today for your
I saw
next
it.
date
Yes.
box. And I know that you were going to put like a special code in there or something so that our BFAM, our blended family community, can maybe have some sort of percentage or something just
Mhm.
as being part of our community. But it's a beach date. So could you tell us a little bit more, especially those that don't live by the beach? Can they still do this date?
Oh, yes. Like, I don't live by the beach. So I was like, I'm going to bring the beach to me. And um, we love, so I'm not competitive unless it comes to my husband. And then we really have a good time together. We have
Mhm.
like a good competitive spirit. So my original thought was I want to do like a sandcastle competition with him. And I was like, why don't I just make that into this summer's date crate? So that's what I did. So it's basically um a beach date. You're gonna do a sandcastle competition, or if you're not competitive, you can build one together and do a really nice thing. There's other games in there where you have like seashells, and you get to do tic tac toe with them, or like lawn darts, but like seashell beach style, where you throw it, get to the
Oh,
sand
okay.
target. So you'll like make your own sand target. Um, Conversation cards, of course. I'm doing in this one it's heart to heart conversation cards, so you kind of have like a good deep conversation together. There's a a cocktail or mocktail, whatever you decide to do, recipe in there that you get to do, and some other bonus games, and a beach ball where you can just have fun with that too. So it's kind of, I wanted to make it to where it's easy for you to get out and just do it, and you will love it. If you just do it, you're gonna love
Okay.
it.
I was like, does the sand come with it? Or do you
Yeah.
go
Yep.
gather your own sand?
Yes. No, the sand comes with it, and it's just the kinetic sand, which is actually really fun. If you don't have kids or if you haven't played with it for a while, it's actually pretty fun.
It forms, yeah, it forms a
Yep.
lot better
Yep.
than your regular sand. Okay, so I'm really excited about this. We are close to the beach, and so when I saw that, I was like, "Do we take this to the beach?" But we usually prefer. Randall loves to go on the beach, but not when it's busy. So
Yes.
a lot of times in the summer, it be kind of crazy, especially if you're not going when it's during the off hours.
Yep.
But we like to hang out by the pool, so I was like, oh, "Okay, yeah, we could take this outside and have our pool hangout and."
Absolutely.
Yes, and do our little beach date. So I can't wait to
Good.
get my box in. And if you are part of our blended family community here, which if you listen to our podcast, you are, then did you put the code BFAM?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're in, yes, BFAM, and we'll do 20%, so you can get that and get it off and get it shipped right to you. You
Oh,
can
nice.
bring the beach to
20%.
your house. Yes.
Heck yeah, guys. So it's BFAM. That is your code that you're going to put on. If you go to Date Crates, uh, is it spell the handle for them?
Okay. So yeah, so it's date DAAT underscore crates CRATES for
Okay.
Instagram. So if you'll find me there, and I'll lead you wherever you need to go. But yeah, my bio on there has my link where you can go click it, and it takes you right there to purchase it.
Yeah, it was super easy because I just was able to click on there. So go
Yeah.
follow Jamie just in general if you want just some funny, practical, just good relationship stuff. The hard stuff, the fun stuff, the good, the bad, all of it. Like
Yep.
she talks about it on her Instagram page. So go follow her there. I'll put the links and stuff on the show notes as well. And then you click on that link in the bio and there, I did notice on if you're in Etsy, like there's a place that it says apply code on there and it's under. So you just type in BFAM and you'll get 20% off. So we appreciate that. That's nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you, our B fam here, enjoying your blended family. I hope that you have learned so many tools that you can take with you. So if your spouse or yourself work away from home for an extended period of time, you now have a lot of resources to pull from so that you can connect. So them being gone or you being gone is not a reason for you not to be able to do your date nights and not to be able just to have that intimacy with them.
Yep.
These are different ways that you can stay connected. So we appreciate you, Jamie, for sharing those with us. And
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I'm always so honored to be on here.
oh
So
yes.
much fun.
Yeah, again, the joke is she's my Instagram best friend. She may not really know that, but for some reason she was the first person that I was like, "Hey, like I feel like we're the same person here."
Yep. Nope. Absolutely. I say the same thing. I'm always excited to get on here and talk with you.
Yes, yes, we appreciate it. All right, guys. So until next time, go out, enjoy your blended family, and use these new tools to make that relationship even richer and deeper. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has been a blessing and encouraged your family journey.
Make sure you stay connected with us and join our weekly Blended Family newsletter. We send an email out every Friday morning full of support and encouragement.
And when you join, we also want to give you a free gift. So go get yours today. The link is in the show notes below.
Have an amazing day. Remember to enjoy the journey with your blended family, and we'll see you on the next episode.